The Fox 61 News at 10 starts now.
You saw it right here just minutes ago on Fox 61. The 5th-ranked Huskies defeated the Texas Longhorns by a score of 71-63. We'll have much more of that game in just a few minutes. But first, we want to thank you for joining us after the game. I'm Annette Montgomery, and I'm alongside meteorologist Sam Sampieri. Now, Sam, you were just showing me that snow that's headed our way. I mean, right. Goodness.
Well, you know, it is that time of year around here in Connecticut, and we all like to have a little bit of snow in time for the Christmas holiday, of course. It's been a cold December, and you can see some snow falling way out to our west. We have a band of snow. It's an Alberta Clipper type system. It's originating from Canada, Alberta, Canada, and it's swinging down the jet stream flow right here. And with that, the low pressure is going to track to our south, giving us that band of light snow, but not till tomorrow night into early Sunday. Meanwhile, temperatures are cold over the last few hours. We're down into the 20s to lower 30s in some towns, 23 Torrington and 31 Hartford, 33 in New Haven. We still have a bit of a wind, so a bit of a wind chill, but not too bad considering what we've been experiencing this first half of December. Feels like it's in the 20s, some upper teens. And tonight, look for clouds early, and then we should have clearing skies. Lows by tomorrow morning won't be too bad. They'll be averaging into the upper 20s, or the upper teens to lower 20s. And the sun comes up at 7:10 now. It's calm and cold. Increasing clouds, not as cold, of course, during the afternoon. This is Hartford. I wouldn't be too surprised if the shoreline gets up near 40. Sun down to 420. Snow showers will be developing around 10 to 11 o'clock, maybe a little bit earlier in western Connecticut. So coming up, I will detail how much snow we get, and of course the start and the end time, and what you can expect heading into next week. Details coming up in a few minutes. Annette?
Looking forward to it. Thank you, Sam. Well, now to our top story tonight. We're following a disturbing report out of Hartford. Police say 3 men broke into a home, duct taped the homeowner's hands and feet, and then proceeded to rob him. Fox 61's Valerie Moravi went out to the scene and tonight shares how the victim's neighbors are reacting.
Neighbors in the area tell me they are concerned, which is why they tell me they're locking every window and door. Now they tell me they're not necessarily scared, but alarmed. Around 9:45 Thursday night, Hartford police say they were called to a Putnam Heights home in the Frog Hollow neighborhood after reports of a home invasion. Police say surveillance video shows 3 male suspects wearing masks and gloves enter the victim's home through an unlocked bathroom window. Officers tell us once they located the victim, the masked man held him at gunpoint and then duct taped his hands and feet. Police also say the suspects took off with 3 cell phones and the victim's wallet, and the search is on to find those men. Neighbors who did not want to be on camera tell me they're in disbelief and call the incident unusual and rare for this community. They also tell me they're now putting in necessary safety measurements to protect themselves and their families, like making sure all the windows and doors are locked. Now, police need your help finding this man. They say surveillance video shows the 3 suspects left in a vehicle parked in a neighbor's driveway. If you have any information that could help, please call Hartford Police. Now, early on Friday, a neighbor also told us the victim was able to get out of the house and run to other neighbors' homes to knock on the door and ask people to call police. The investigation is still ongoing. In Hartford, Valerie Moravi, Fox 61.
Thank you so much, Valerie. Well, firefighters in Durham were tied up for hours earlier today battling a massive house fire. Now, that call came in around 10:30 this morning, and around 2 p.m. this afternoon, firefighters were still out there working on the house that stood for nearly 3 centuries. Fox 61's Celine Arif shows us the efforts from multiple fire departments to save that home.
Even though it's burned now, you can still see how beautiful and preserved the house was kept. It's almost 300 years old, and neighbors tell me it's a huge loss for everyone who lives here.
And I just don't understand, how it could happen.
Bill Lonergan lives right across from 57 Middlefield Road. He had no idea this is what he'd spend his morning doing, watching his neighbor's house get destroyed.
My friend lives in the Berkshires who used to live in that house. That's what I felt, and I felt sad. And because it has a lot of history, we knew the parents.
It seems like everyone in the neighborhood has a story with this house. Durham's Deputy Fire Chief Harold Hall says he was on his way to the Home Depot when he drove by the house. The owner was outside but told him 3 dogs were still inside the house. 1 dog was recovered but did die, and 2 dogs were unaccounted. Hall says there was an explosion in the house before he got there, and then his crews heard multiple more explosions when they got to the scene. He says it looks like the fire started in the basement, which had Tesla batteries in it, although he says it's too soon to tell if that's what caused the fire. But he says it kept the fire progressing for hours. Neighbor Neil Nielsen's house overlooks this home, and he says it was hard to even see what was going on through all the smoke.
A lot of it was black. There were holes in the roof. You could see the smoke billowing out of. Later it was flames, but I've never seen so much smoke.
This is how much smoke filled the air from yards away. Hall says the owner was hospitalized for smoke inhalation. Lonergan says he's heartbroken his neighbor lost both his dog and home just weeks before the new year.
I feel sad, of course, and hopefully they're safe and they have shelter to go to, and it's Christmas coming up.
Right now, the fire cause is still under investigation, and the Department of Energy and Environmental Protection is monitoring the air quality levels here. In Durham, Celine Air, Fox 61.
Thank you, Celine. New tonight, Hartford police tell us a 20-year-old victim was forced out of their idling car earlier this week before the suspect drove off. Officers later tracked the vehicle to Laurel Street after they responded to the area after reports of several crashes nearby. Police say they arrested 46-year-old Kelvin Rivera of Hartford. He's now charged with robbery by carjacking, larceny, motor vehicle theft, and risk of injury to a minor. And state police have now released the name of the man killed in a road rage incident on I-84 in West Hartford this week. They said 28-year-old Hanif McKnight of Philadelphia was killed when he was run over Tuesday. Investigators said a tractor trailer and box truck were stuck next to each other in traffic. They say the 2 drivers then got into it. Police said the tractor trailer driver got out, ran across the highway, and jumped on the box truck. State police did not identify who was driving what vehicle, but McKnight was run over shortly after. State police haven't announced any arrest yet and have asked you to call them if you saw what happened. Silas Dean Highway and several I-91 ramps in Rocky Hill are now back open after a water main break south of Town Line Road shut the parts of that area down for hours. Police say this happened around 2:30 this afternoon, and it caused major traffic backups. The lanes reopened by 4:45 this afternoon, but right now repairs are still ongoing, and if you are in the area, you can expect to see some delays. State police are also investigating a crash in Washington that seriously injured a person. They say it happened around 3:30 p.m. on Litchfield Turnpike. Right now, we are working to get more information, and we'll bring it to you as soon as we learn any more. Well, right now in Griswold, state police are investigating a serious crash on Route 165. We know Sheldon and Glasgow roads have since reopened, but they were closed for a period of time. State police say that crash was a head-on collision between 2 vehicles around 3:35 this afternoon. We know Lifestar was called to transport the victims, and police are now asking drivers to avoid the area. Well, this Sunday marks 13 years since the Sandy Hook tragedy that shook Connecticut and the entire nation. Since that day, the state has taken bold action on gun safety, ranking among the strongest in the country. Tomorrow on the Fox 61 News at 10 and 11, we'll look at the changes that followed, hear from survivors and first responders, and explore how their legacy continues to shape laws and protect communities today. And in remembrance of the lives lost on that tragic day, Governor Ned Lamont has directed all flags to be lowered to half-staff this Sunday. 26 lives were lost at the elementary school back in the 2012 shooting. This Sunday, flags will be at half-staff on the state capitol building and all other state-operated buildings. Lamont said, quote, "Our hearts will forever be with the 20 innocent children who were taken all too soon and the 6 devoted educators who lost their lives protecting the students they heroically guarded," end quote.